Thanks for tuning in to another video episode on the Forgotten Weapons Library. I'm Ian, and today we're going to take a look at a real icon in firearms history, the Luger pistol. You can show one of these to just about anybody, and whether they're a gun nut or not, they're going to be able to recognize it as a Luger. It really is one of the classic, iconic firearms designs of modern history. And as such, there's an immense amount of history that goes along with these pistols. They were made, starting in 1898. They were used extensively in World War I. They were used extensively in World War II. There were dozens of different contracts for them for different countries throughout the world. And on top of all this, they've become extremely valuable collector's pieces today. So the question is, if you want to get into Lugers, or if you have some and want to know more about them, what's the best way to find out information on the Luger? And there is now an excellent answer. That is this. This is a 3-volume set of books, the Borchardt and Luger automatic pistol, that were written by Jeffrey Sturgis and Joachim Gortz. Hopefully I got his name pronounced right there. Dr. Sturgis probably has the definitive collection of Luger pistols in the world today, as well as an extensive and really impressive collection of other very early automatic pistol designs. And Joachim Gortz had written a pretty definitive book on the Luger in German. And this 3-volume set that is about to come out is the result of a collaboration between the two. Now, there's 2,000 pages, I kid you not, of information here, and I really, if there's any information on the Luger pistol that doesn't show up in these volumes, I would be extremely surprised. Volume 1 is basically a history of the Borchardt and then the Luger. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Borchardt, it was the first commercially successful self-loading pistol, and it's the action that evolved into the Luger. We have a history of all the people who were involved, development of the two guns, let's see, the initial contracts and military testing. Switzerland was the first country to adopt the Luger, and there's an extensive discussion of the Swiss trials and what went on there, and how the gun came to be accepted. Then in Volume 2, we have specific information on different Luger contracts, basically. So the different manufacturers, there were several over the lifetime of this pistol. The different military contracts, the different commercial contracts, unit markings, manufacturing information. Like I said, this is, if you consider a typical good book to be like a refreshing drink of water, this set of books on the Luger is basically like being one of those football coaches who gets a bucket of Gatorade dumped on him at the end of the game. The amount of information in these volumes is just really mind-blowing. The 3rd volume, this whole guy, is on accessories, holsters, military and non-military, for, say, Turkey, Persia, Britain, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Russia, the US. We have magazines, we have sub-caliber devices for training and practice, tools, cleaning rods, stocks, a whole chapter on ammunition, chapter on troubleshooting, a particularly interesting chapter to me on dead ends and curiosa, including things like the US trials Luger in .45 automatic, Luger and Borchardt's designs for self-loading rifles, which are, I think, really interesting. Patent information is in here, and one of the cool things, well, they're all cool things, a complete set of engineered drawings for like 4 different versions of the Luger. Great information, all the dimensions, everything you would need to know to build one, really. Now, there are a couple issues that come up with a book of this scale. Number one being finding information in it. It's 2,000 pages, and until you've read through it enough that you know exactly where everything is, if you have some particular subject that you're looking for, you can look in the index, which is a good start. But what they have done with this book that I think is brilliant and something that really more people ought to be doing is include with it a DVD copy that has the entire 3-volume set as a PDF file. It's searchable. I can open that up, type in Vickers contract, and get a zillion responses. Any specific element that I'm looking for, a PDF version allows you to very easily search through the document and find whatever you're looking at. In addition, this has all of the photographs and illustrations from the book at a much higher resolution. Obviously, when you're printing something in a physical book, often photographs have to be scaled down so that they'll simply fit on the pages. And that can cut out some detail, but there's no option around it, right? Well, if you have a PDF copy, you can include all, and they do, include all of those illustrations at the highest possible resolution. So, for example, with the sets of technical drawings on the DVD that comes along with this, you can open it up and zoom that picture up, scale that picture up quite a bit, and see a lot more detail in it. And for a book of this magnitude, that option is incredibly helpful. And like I said, I really think more publishers ought to be doing that. In addition, as if that wasn't enough, it also comes with a documentary about an hour and a quarter long that Sturgis made on the development of the Luger, which is, for the advanced collector, this probably isn't, it's a neat thing, but it's not going to reveal any real mysteries that you may not have seen. But for someone who's just getting into it, or has a nice gun collection but doesn't know all that much about the Luger in particular, this is a really nice documentary. It includes a bunch of footage of some of the contemporary pistols to the Luger being fired, which is really cool. They're generally very rare guns, and you almost never see them being shot. And they have footage of that, as well as Lugers and Borchards being fired. Alright, so another issue that I know is going to come up is price. If I'm getting 2,000 pages of all glossy color, illustrated, extensively researched book, holy crap, what's that going to cost? And the answer is right now they're on pre-sale for $275, which sounds like a lot, but I really don't think it is. First of all, this is the size of at least 3 of any typical book, and you're getting them for less than $100 a piece. So really right there, not that bad a deal when you look at other similar types of research. However, with everything on PDF, it's a great tool. I went on Gunbroker and just did some quick searching for Lugers, and yeah, even a kind of mismatched, non-particularly interesting shooter Luger, you're going to have a hard time buying for less than $1,000. These pistols have become very valuable. They're very desirable, they're collectible, and they cost a lot now. Well, if you want to get a Luger that has some provenance, that is one of the more interesting models, has some special significance to it, you're looking at a lot of money, $1,500 minimum. To me, if you're going to go and start investing that kind of money in a collectible pistol, where a lot of the value is based on the historical relevance of the gun, you really need to know what you're actually looking at. And a set of books like this is downright dirt cheap insurance. If you're going to go and buy one Luger, I think it's worth it. If you're going to buy several, if you want to collect Lugers, if you want to have several representative samples, a book like this is invaluable. It's insurance. It allows you to look at a gun and know what you're actually buying, instead of the story that the seller is telling you, which may be right, may be wrong, he may not know, he may be lying. You never know when you're looking to buy something like this, unless you have a reference and you actually do know. For the folks who are interested in the history of the Luger, if you're kind of mildly interested, find a smaller book. But if you're serious, if you really want to know the details of the Luger, and I mean details like how they changed the chamfering on guide rails, and when and why and what it indicates, because, I kid you not, that's in here, then this book is your source. So I've been looking through, reading the 3 volumes here for a week, and I think I have just barely scratched the surface. I know when I go to start buying Lugers, I'm going to have this open and bookmarked, and the set looks really nice now, and it's going to become dog-eared and beat up, because these books are going to get a lot of use. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you'll consider going out and picking up your own copy. Dr. Sturgis and Mr. Gortz did an unbelievable job with this book.